is Esther, aka the African Woman, and this is Afro News Worldwide. Amidst all the male voices in Senegalese election is standing out a female voice for more than 10 years. 40 years old Anta Babakar Ngom, a business executive, is rising as a voice for both women and young people in a country hit with widespread unemployment and rising prices. In 2012, 2 women ran for president and earned less than 1% of the vote each. However, Ms. Ngom, who runs a food company, has made the economy her campaign focus and is gaining much better following, chiefly because hardship has driven thousands of Senegalese to attempt dangerous journeys in search of a better life in the West. So let's just see how things will pan out in this year's election for this woman. On Tuesday, the 19th of March 2024, a group of young armed men shot dead 15 people in South Sudan in a region called Peabody. A county commissioner, a deputy army commander, government officials and the county commissioner's bodyguards were among the 15 that were shot dead. South Sudan is a country that has been plagued with civil wars after the country won independence from Sudan. The country witnessed thousands of deaths between 2013 and 2018. Also, more than 150 people were killed in late January and early February in northern and western South Sudan because of conflicts between rival groups. This country is hoping to conduct a national election by the end of this year. And so, the United States, Britain, and Norway have called on South Sudanese leaders to take urgent steps to ensure a peaceful election. Sad. In London, the Time Is Always Now art exhibition is showcasing Black art in the Western world. This new exhibit at the National Portrait Gallery in London features works of 22 artists from the African diaspora and looks at Black representation in Western art. This exhibition was organized and presented by writer Iko Ishim and seeks to answer questions on history, race, and identity. Mr. Ishim explained that this exhibit offers a number of different perspectives on Black being, Black personhood, Black presence, and that he was proud to be a person of African origins who was chiefly involved in curating this exhibition. This exhibition is different because it invites viewers to see through the eyes of Black artists and the figures they depict instead of simply looking at them. The exhibit illustrates the differences and range of possibilities that come into play when Black artists depict the Black figure, in contrast to a Western history of artists of European or white descent depicting the Black figure. So I am encouraging people of Black origins like me to try and attend this exhibition as it runs until the 19th of May 2024 at the National Portrait Gallery in London. I bet you would enjoy it. In Haiti, political turmoil has weakened state capacity, undermining security and the delivery of services as the influence of non-state armed groups grow. This crisis was sparked by the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. Violence is spreading fastly as criminal groups are becoming stronger by the day. In 2023, more than 6,000 gang-related incidents were recorded, which included over 4,000 killings and over 2,000 kidnappings. However, in the midst of all these dangers, a 43-year-old pastor named Telemark Vernet has become a lifeline for more than 60 children in Kenya, north of the capital, Port-au-Prince. This man owned a thriving private school for children in pre-kindergarten to 6th grade, but he stopped collecting school fees from parents as gang crisis reached its climax in January 2022. He then turned the school into a sanctuary for many children who have lost their homes and families to the violence and the chaos that is now inherent in that community. He made arrangements for orphans or children with homeless parents to sleep in the church, providing them with sleeping bags. Vernet's own home was burned down on January 21st, 2022. He was forced to live in the church with his family. Despite the hardship, he remained committed to providing food and shelter to those in need. On March 4th, 2024, Haiti declared a state of emergency following coordinated attacks by gangs on government institutions, airports, and prisons, resulting in the release of thousands of prisoners. Gangs now control 80% of the geography of Port-au-Prince. This is an extremely deplorable situation. May God help us. And we implore everyone to pray for people of Haiti because they are our brothers and sisters. Last Tuesday, 2 Mississippi deputies were sentenced to years in prison for breaking into a home with 4 other white officers and torturing 2 African American men. They did this horrible act after a neighbor complained that the black men were staying in a home with a white woman and nothing more. U.S. District Judge Tom Lee sentenced Christian Dedmon, 29, to 40 years in prison, and Daniel Obdai, 28, to 17.5 years in prison. Judge Lee said that Dedmon carried out the most shocking, brutal, and cruel attack imaginable to the 2 black men, just because a white person phoned Rankin County Deputy Brent McApin and complained that these 2 black men were staying with a white woman at a house in Braxton, Mississippi. McAlpin then told Deputy Christian Dedmon, who texted a group of white deputies so willing to use excessive force. They call themselves the Goon Squad. Once inside the apartment, they handcuffed the poor men, poured milk, alcohol, and chocolate syrup over their faces. They forced them to strip naked and shower together. Then they mocked them with racial slurs and shot them with stun guns. Then they shot one of them in the mouth with the stun gun. Unfortunately, that gentleman cannot still talk properly till today. Luckily, justice was served last Tuesday, and those 2 black men and their loved ones are now able to find a bit of peace and closure. Last Friday, Egyptian government increased prices of fuel, saying that the hikes resulted from the increased cost of importing energy because of depreciation of the local currency and the global surge in energy prices following the tumult in the Red Sea. The prices of diesel, the main fuel for the transport of people and goods, rose from 8.5 Egyptian pounds to 10 pounds per litre. This country, being a net importer of energy, increased the price of 95 octane gasoline from 12.5 Egyptian pounds to 13.5 Egyptian pounds, The cost of butane was also increased. These price hikes are actually in line with conditions set by the International Monetary Fund for a disbursement of further loans to Egypt. Egypt reached a deal with the IMF to increase a bailout to $8 billion from $3 billion after a lot of negotiations. Economic situation in Egypt worsened chiefly because Houthis have been attacking commercial ships in the Red Sea, which is a major trading route for Egypt. Just so you know, Houthis are a Shia Islamic political and military organization that emerged from Yemen in the 1990s. In response to the war in Gaza Strip, they have launched several missiles and drones on commercial ships in the Red Sea. This is quite unfortunate, and our hearts go out to victims of all these unending wars. With this, we come to the end of today's broadcast, and I'll be back here pretty soon with other breaking news in the Afro world. Especially, I will be bringing you updates on the Senegalese election, which is a big item of news in West Africa. Remember, I am Esther, aka the African Woman, and this is Afro Cultural Network. Afro Cultural Network aims to showcase diverse and yet similar cultures of people of Africa and African origin. On this platform, we will be doing documentaries, docudramas, and promotions on Black people. Please follow us always. Ciao.